we're going to play a little game.
Go.
Obviously, we've spoken about the Forest win and how important it was, and Maresca obviously knowing that was the biggest game of the season. He's picked his strongest team. So, assuming they're all fit, which of the players that started the Forest game are going to be starting our first game of the season? Obviously, Club World Cup, pre-season, but assuming they're all fit, I'm going to read you out the starting 11. Mm-hmm. You're going to tell me which players you think are going to start. So, Robert Sanchez in goal. Will he be starting?
No. Thank you for the service, Robert. You actually did well towards the back end of the season.
He did, and I think he deserves a little bit of credit because he has come into a lot of criticism from Chelsea fans. I mean, rightly or wrongly, he probably will understand that he's made mistakes when he maybe shouldn't have, but I think he has stepped up a little bit towards the back end of the season. No, not even a little bit. No, in the last 6 games, he's been all right.
No, he has been. But in terms of asking me that question, no.
Jace,
I think we'll find a new goalkeeper. I think that's where. Whether Sanchez is still at the club or not, probably. But I think a new goalkeeper. Whether it's going to be Petrovic, who's out on loan, the lad Penders is going to be coming in. Yeah. He may well go out on loan again, but I don't think Sanchez starts the first game of the season.
No. I am also today that Kevin Kelleher's available for 20 mil, and I just think I know we're not going to buy another goalkeeper, but I'd spend 20 mil on Kevin Kelleher.
Yeah. Someone will.
Brentford.
Someone
apparently.
will.
Yeah. Okay, Reece James.
Yes.
Yep. Starts the first game of the season?
Yeah.
I mean,
depending on the opposition.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a yes. No, I know, but the reason I'm kind of hesitating is because he didn't start last night.
Yeah.
But no, restarts.
Yeah. He is.
Yeah, he starts.
Given what this is the longest run of games he's played in however long. Mm-hmm. He looks fit. He looks good. He's managed to get through at the end of the season. Yeah. Liv. How many times come at the end of the season he's doing rehab?
Yeah.
All right, and I feel for the boy. All right, but delighted for him. And when he came, honestly, I know we said it, but I've got to say, when he came on, he added real stability. It's a little bit of a calming figure all through the team. So starts.
Yeah, still only 25 as well.
Yep.
Tosin Adarabioyo, no.
I think still at the club.
That's not my question.
I think still at the club. Starts that first game. Well, what's happening with Trevor? I mean, for me, the best partnership that we kind of had coming into the back of the season was Colwell and Trev. Right? Trev's got himself in the England squad.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, he played last night, and you could see why maybe he didn't start against Forest. I think Trevor probably ahead of Tosin. Starts at the first game of the season.
Okay, but if it's not Trevor and it's not Tosin, who would you want to partner? I'm assuming Levi Colwill.
Well, we need to bring somebody in. I don't have that name. I was literally...
Experienced, though?
Yeah, experience. I know that we've got a model and we're not bringing in players over a certain age, but this is the one position where I'm like, please just break that model. First of all, centre-backs' salaries aren't as high as going to bring in a 28-year-old striker. So go and bring in like a 27, 28-year-old that's won stuff, that's experienced, that can lead the back line, and that can allow Levi Colwill to concentrate on his own game. I don't think Colwill's at that position yet where he's ready to marshal the back line, right? He needs to concentrate on his own game, and I think that
just on the
that's right.
Do you not think that he's developed as a player this season
Levi.
compared to this time last year to what he is now?
Yeah.
There is a little bit more of a leader qualities that I'm seeing in his game, but you're right. You need someone. I use John Terry and Des Ayers because it's the best example I can
It's
think
so
of.
hard to find like that sort of like player now, though. I think someone that's like you're thinking like late 20s.
Yeah, I don't know who it is. That's down to our scouting department. But that's what I.
Asking you though, Craig.
Asking me. I don't know. I was googling it on the train on the way here, and I couldn't find anyone who fits that mould, right? And maybe it doesn't have to be somebody that old. Because when Arsenal brought in Saliba, he was still very young. Yeah. But everybody's levels upped. Yeah. Gabriel got better. I remember Gabriel before Saliba. People forget.
That's right.
A lot of errors. Yeah. And so somebody like that might be the fit, but we need somebody else in.
By the way, third best defensive record in the league.
Wow.
That blows my mind,
Really?
Third best,
So,
behind Arsenal and Liverpool, isn't it?
Behind Liverpool and Arsenal. Wow. So, defensively, there were moments this season, right? And that's in the beginning of the new year, where we couldn't keep a clean sheet for fun, right? Could not keep a clean sheet for fun. As towards the end of the season, as Craig has highlighted, clean sheets were more regular. Defensively, a tougher team to break down. And maybe we'll look at that and go, maybe Tosin and Colwill and Trev, between the three of them, there will be Badiashile, don't know where he's going, but there might be enough there between the three of them. There might be.
Yeah. Okay, so Levi Colwill.
Yes.
Yeah, I think I think especially the back end of this season, is when he's really, really stepped up.
I've been very impressed with him. Very
again, I
impressed
think
with him.
you know how Reece James has steadied the ship. Steadied the ship yesterday. I think Levi Cole did as well.
So maybe
I think it was
maybe
just a
he's
bit more of a
developing into that.
calming presence at the back.
Maybe
leader.
to step up.
Yeah.
And I don't think Poch helped him last year by playing him left back. Stalled his development.
Also, that's just like the more I think about that. Why on earth was he playing?
Insane.
Levi Cole
Middlesbrough away in the semi-final.
Insane.
Hey, Levi Cole left back.
Oh my gosh, poor thing.
Anyway, we'll pass that now. Mark Cucurella.
Yeah, left back. 100%.
Best left back in the league.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Popped up with so many big goals and so many big moments. Could have been Chelsea's player of the season had Moises Caicedo. And
Probably second.
Yeah, I'd probably say second actually. Would you say ahead of Palmer?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Palmer had brilliant start to the season.
Good end.
Good end in between, you know, but he's a young man, so.
Okay, there's no point me asking Moises Caicedo, is there?
Yes, of course.
No. Yeah,
No,
player of the season,
move on.
one of the best midfielders in the league. Enzo Fernandez.
Yes. Yeah.
Starts.
See,
Starts. He starts. Yeah? Nah, yeah, he starts.
I don't know.
He starts.
Does he start? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to leave it at that. I would personally have Lavia. I'm just putting it out there. Like, I suppose, like you say, it depends on the opposition. If it's a bigger game, like if it's a Liverpool or a City, I'm playing Lavia and Caicedo.
Don't hate
But
it.
obviously, if it's a Brentford,
Yeah, there will be horses for courses.
Yeah.
And that's the luxury you should have as a club like Chelsea, competition places and strength all over the pitch.
Andre Santos on the bench.
Yes.
Another bit of good cover. Right, Noni Madueke.
No.
Why no?
Because Estelle Williams going to come in and change
You
his
reckon he's
lives.
going to start straight away, though?
I'm honestly just having talked to people who watch South American football. I can't claim to have watched a whole game of Palmeiras.
Yeah.
But talking to people who watch this kid closely, he is the real deal and he's going to come and change our lives. I think we'll see it. I think the manager will see it in training in pre-season. And I think when it gets to the first game, we'll be so excited and he'll be the player that starts on the right-hand side. I've only watched compilations. This kid looks special.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say on that is that it's the Premier League.
Yeah.
It is a different league. It's physically, it's demanding in other ways that other leagues aren't. And he might take a bit of time to get that starting berth. Eventually, if we've seen, and I've seen the same clips as you, if he does develop physically and got into the young man that we hope and think he will, then I think there'll be a time where he's an absolute must. First game of the season, not convinced yet.
So Noni Madueke, yes or no?
I'll go, yeah.
You think he's going to start on the right?
I'm gonna go, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
I'll start on the left maybe, because that's generally where
you think he's going to start?
I think he's going to
You
start.
think he'll be in the starting 11?
I think he's going to start.
Cole Palmer.
Move on.
Let's move on, yeah. Jadon Sancho.
If he's here, he'll be a squad player. I don't think he starts in the first game. You know, and I mean, the team we're talking about here, we haven't even got Jackson here. I think we have to mention Jackson because, of course, he's suspended. And I'm sure you will. But I think naturally, if everyone's fit, Pedro, who started up against Forest, I think
Probably
right
starts.
now, I think Pedro starts ahead of Sancho, and Noni starts ahead of Sancho as well.
Okay, so we're going Jadon Sancho, no.
Yeah, Pedro Neto.
And Pedro Neto on the left.
All right.
All right.
Or
probably
the right.
Probably right.
Okay, probably right, but he still starts.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nicholas Jackson suspended for that game against Forest. If he's fit for that game, he starts, right?
No.
No, for that Forest game.
Yes.
Yeah, so if Jackson isn't suspended,
correct,
he starts for Forest.
Yeah.
So
correct.
Does he start Chelsea's first league game of the new season?
No. Not if we buy a centre forward.
Yeah.
And I think we saw last night, Jackson has definitely got something to offer. I think he's been let down a little bit by the fact that there's not another player in the squad that's pushing him. And I think Jackson will benefit as an individual having someone to fight for his position because there has been no one. Mark Guiu's been injured.
Yeah.
Pedro Neto's done a job down the middle for us. You know, even saw Palmer last 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the game last night. But really, I feel Jackson needs to learn still more of his trade. There's lots to like, and we've seen plenty of it. There's lots to improve as well.
Sorry, that touch really made me laugh yesterday.
Yeah.
When Jadon Sancho put it
And that was
through.
at 2-1, right?
And it really...
That was at 2-1.
And I know it could have come back to haunt us. Obviously, we can look back now and laugh. But,
come on, mate.
But that
Come on. And the thing is, I think Nick Jackson's a very effective footballer, but when you see the balls that Cole Palmer puts into the box, and people talk about Cole Palmer having an off season. If your off-season scored 15 league goals, then I'd like to have some of his off-seasons. But the balls that he put into the box last night, if you've got a box crasher of a striker, someone physical who's going to be on the end of it, which Jackson was for the second one, I think that striker will score a lot of goals. I think Jackson can offer something in behind, but go and get me a striker that's an out-and-out number 9 that will get you 20 league goals and win us the league.
There was a ball that came in the box against Newcastle away at 1-0 down. physical to the face of the goal.
Yes.
And Jackson was on his heels. I think Jackson still needs to be that centre forward that gambles, that goes in, and that natural ability or the instinct, whatever you want to call it, still needs to be tuned. Still needs to be coached. There's a lot to come from Jackson still, though.
Yeah, there is. I mean, Liam Delap is obviously one of the names we've spoken about on this pod, but I think as the days go on and sort of creep by, it does feel like it's looking a little bit more likely that he is probably going to be the striker, maybe one of the strikers that Chelsea bring in. £30 million release clause after they got relegated.
If you're a young striker watching last night's game, and you see Jackson up top, you'll think to yourself, there's a chance in there. You know, like I said, there's more to come from Jackson. But as a young centre forward, let's say you want him to watching that, you're going, I'd probably start. I'd probably start. So that's a really encouraging sign to think you bring someone in, you're probably going to be my number 1, number 9.
I'd probably start for a team that's qualified for the Champions League. Apparently, the two options were Man United or Chelsea. Ben Jacobs and Alex Cook, obviously two fantastic journalists for talkSPORT, reported yesterday that Liam Delap's edging closer to a move to Chelsea. And like Jess said, if you're watching that, you're thinking, I've got a chance of displacing Jackson in the starting 11. And if you look at the balls that Cole Palmer plays in, and then look at the amount of goals that Liam Delap scored in the team in Ipswich, that didn't create that many chances, and look at how good he was against us, I think that for 30 million, you should bring him in. And I've put my neck on the line for Liam Delap as well. I've talked about it all the time, about the lineage of England strikers, and I think that come the 2026 World Cup, if Liam Delap makes the right move, there's going to be conversations of who should be playing for England. And I think that Chelsea, off the back of how we ended last season, qualifying for the Champions League, would be a great move for the young lads.
Yeah, I love everything about him apart from the dive that won a penalty against us earlier in the season.
If he's doing it for us, we'll
Yeah, that's very true, actually.
It's a good dive, though.
If he does it, it was a good dive. It was very convincing, actually.
We missed the dark arts of Chelsea.
we have.
That's why Cucurella's one of my favourite players. That's why I'm buying into Enzo Fernandez, because the Yes Housery is what you need to get over the line, and these players are now starting to show it.